So today was my first run back since September of 2024. So 8 months. And it was such a beautiful, beautiful moment for me. And I haven't talked, I guess, publicly or just about the full scope of my year last year and how much of a testimony it is to be present in this year. And I figured today is the day. And I want to just give a disclaimer that if at any point I get emotional, it's out of gratitude, not sadness. Okay, so let me just start off with my journey in Chicago. And I never really talked about it. I knew Houston was not for me. Every ounce of my being and my soul was like, Houston is not it. But I needed to get London through the finish line of graduating high school, getting to college. And I prayed to God. I was praying every day for God to just give me an escape, give me another opportunity, something. I was applying for all of these roles. I was trying to get back to New York. Long story short, Chicago just happened so seamlessly. It seemed like it was right. And it wasn't even the most money offered. I moved to Chicago for a role that offered me $65,000 a year. They also were paying me a $5,000 sign-on bonus. And then I was getting about a $6,000 to $7,000 commission check from the role I was leaving. So I said, okay, I'm gonna take this $65,000 a year job. And with this commission check, I'll have, $11,000 or $12,000 in savings. I can make this work. And that's what I did. And I moved to Chicago on faith, knowing that there was better ahead than there was behind me. And I did. And most people thought I moved here making so much money. I was not. I found a very simple, cheap place. When I was able to level up, I was able to move from that job to another job in April of 2023. I was making more money, wrote that job out. February of 2024, I moved into a better place, paying $2,300 a month. And then February 28th of 2024, I lost my job. At that time, I had so many different, I had done so much networking. I had these local companies and colleagues wanting me to come work for them. So when I first lost that job, I wasn't even worried. I thought I had something lined up. Come March, what I thought had lined up by March 15th fell through. I'm like, okay. Let me just start applying. Nothing, right? Not getting anything. April comes around. The end of March, I was dating someone. I quite frankly thought this person was my forever. I thought we had just had this amazing chemistry and bond, and it fell short. So that was like a blow. So lost my job. Now I lost this person that I felt like, quite frankly, was my forever. Whether I feel that way now, that's how I felt then. And then when my birthday came around, for the first time in my life, I started feeling like I was losing in the battle of showing up. I felt weak. And it's crazy because the year prior, in 2023, I had started a Bible study and it was great. I, was yearning and fiending to be closer to God. I know now that year prepared me to get through 2024. So then I'm feeling weak. I experienced this emotion that I had never had before. And it was a moment of not wanting to be here anymore, wanting to take my life. By the grace of God, I had a good, dear friend of mine. I love you. You know who you are. He had shared with me something years ago, 2017, 16, 17. And the thing that he shared with me made me feel like this is who I got to call. I call him. I know he's never heard me like this before. I can barely speak. I'm crying. I'm talking about how I want to do it. And he said to me, "You're stronger than you think you are because you picked up the phone." And that friend saved my life. And from that day forward, it was about just fighting it one day at a time. And a part of my fight was hosting friends, being around people, because I started to get afraid of being alone because I didn't want to have that thought come again. Even though it never did, I was just so worried that it might. So I wanted to be around people all the time, which was rare for me. You know, I'm like a solo dolo person. The second thing was getting out into nature and praising God every chance I can get. And that came through running. That came through being able to go down by the water, which made me really fall in love with Chicago. There's a trail that's a wildflower trail on the south side that I love dearly. I've posted it so many times, but I was running every day and I was talking to God, and that was me fighting for my life. Running was me fighting for my life every day. Every morning I got up and did it. All of my neighbors witnessed me do it. I saw one of my older neighbors on Easter, and she brought it up, and it made me smile because I was fighting for my life. Okay, so, you know, still trying. London ends up coming to Chicago. It's embarrassing. I can't find a job. She's seeing me not working, which is a new thing for her. I'm so embarrassed. Come August, I had a beacon of light because I had started interviewing for this tech company. I'm thinking I'm going to get it. I'm going through multiple rounds. August 11th, I lose my great-grandmother. It hit hard because I had been away from home so long. I just felt like a big part of who we are as a family is gone. And I missed out on some time. And she passed away. Her funeral was a week before London had to go back to school. And I was in such a tough financial place, I couldn't afford both. And I chose to show up for London and get her back to school. So I couldn't go home and bury my grandmother. So my great-grandmother. So on top of the guilt I was feeling, the disconnect from home, the longing I was feeling, and the heaviness I was carrying in life, then that happened. I still was running, still showing up. I'm kind of going to show in my stories a pattern so you can see how sometimes people are showing up before your eyes and you never know it. That's all of us. And so that happens. Come back. September, I'm still running. I had been interviewing with the tech company. I went through 9 rounds. I had been interviewing with them for 3 months. I thought I was going to get the job. I got an offer for this job that was a pay cut from what I had been, where I was at. It's definitely wasn't going to pay my rent of $2,300 a month. And I wasn't going to take it, but my aunt told me to take it. And she was like, and you get the tech job, then just go. You know, I presented to a panel. I did all of these things. I'm thinking I'm going to get it. I don't get the job. It's like when that happened, I think my last bit of fight at that time was just taken away. So that was the last time. The day I found out I did not get that job was the last day that I went running. But you still show up, obviously, in this life. And life gets better. And I've prayed and I've drawn closer to God. And God has pulled me through. I'm in such an amazing space mentally, emotionally, physically. I'm so grateful. But during that time, I ended up having to move out of that place because I could no longer afford it. You know, kindness of strangers. I had my crazy life. I had met a man at a bar who just so happened to come in my life around the right time. And when I moved out of that place, I was able to move into this condo that he had temporarily. That was a little uncomfortable. And then it just was taking me forever to find a place in this market. My good girlfriend allowed me to stay in her basement. She has like a franchise, and so she was traveling. So she's like, I'm not going to be there anyway, so I'm staying in her basement. And then eventually moved out of the basement. And, you know, that whole little thing was like, you know, two and a half months. So, but I just felt so low and just fighting. But my God, the sun doesn't last always. The sun comes up in the morning, and it's always a new horizon. And I'm currently living in a new horizon, and I'm so grateful for it. So many things. Like, God is just amazing. When I look back on where I was at that time last year, wanting to take my life, to be mentally stronger, to be spiritually more solid, to be more connected to God, for it to have brought me closer to God. I'm just so grateful. And today, getting back to running felt like that last brick being laid down for me to step on and go forward in my journey. And I did a 5K. I used to do a 5K every morning. But today was hard. And it represented like that this life is hard, but you keep going and you keep showing up. And when I finished, I looked at what I ran. Of course, it's not my best, right? And I'm thinking like, oh my God, girl, you got a long way to go. But then I look at what like the average person runs, right? Or people that train or things like that. And you think about what your rock bottom is not even the bottom. And that's such an encouraging space to be in. And I wanted to share this because I think sometimes we, can be naive to the tricks of the devil, and how sometimes the devil takes the tools that we use to fight against him, to rise above. If we're not careful, the devil will strip those away from us. And it's things that you don't even correlate. At that time, I didn't correlate that me running every day and going to the water and praying to God and worshiping God, and being out there, for hours and doing it every morning and going back out there before the sun set. Like, that was me fighting for my life. That was me showing up. That was me just doing it day by day, step by step, moment by moment. Me figuring out that what other ways can I fight? Let me love up on people. Let me bring people over. Let me cook for them. Let me host them. Let me love up on people. That's how I can fight. And, God will put you the devil will try to put you in a place where you become distant, where you no longer are around people, where you no longer are doing the things that you love or the things that help you get through. And I'm just so grateful that I'm back. And so I hope that this video is encouragement to anyone else in their journey that's trying to get back, to know that it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And you just got to keep showing up day by day. Even if it takes you 8 months to do that last little final step. Give yourself 8 months. Give yourself grace. But also when that moment comes, relish in it, that you overcame. Thank God. Love up on the people that were there for you. I'm getting so emotional because God will send you angels. And sometimes when we go through this life, we constantly feel like we're making deposits. For me, while I wanted to take my life, I felt like, God, I sacrificed my life to be obedient to you. I needed to get out. I needed something new. I just wanted a win. I thought Chicago was going to be a win. And now you knocked me down. And every time I try to get back up, you knocking me down some more. I don't want to fight no more. I'm done with it. That's where I was at, And then God shows up in angels. And it's the friends that come over to just be with you. It's the stranger you meet that's just kind. It's the girlfriends that show up. It's the years prior where you don't even know the work you're putting in is going to help save your life. Me having this feeling to start a Bible study, me having the discipline to read the Bible and pray and talk to God and just unpack myself and humble myself and fall just down to my knees and say, God, like, I want to be closer to you. That prepared me to get through. Even when I felt like I lost my way, I was actually getting closer. But I had to completely surrender. 2024 showed me what it felt like to have nothing but God. I look back and see videos and things, and I would just never imagine where I was at emotionally, physically, spiritually. You look in the mirror, you see the stress in your face, you see the stress in your body. And to look in the mirror today and see just different. Like, this is a glow, and this is what God did. 32 is beautiful. And to think I didn't even want to stay for 31. And it became one of the best years of my life, one of the toughest years of my life, but one of the best years of my life. And I know this video is long, But I felt like it was important to share this testimony on, I've been saying for years since I was in my 20s, to keep showing up. One day, one step at a time. God is so faithful, and you are worthy. You are worthy to live. You are worthy to receive every blessing that has your name on it. You are worthy of the love you give. You are worthy of making mistakes and getting back up and trying again and using that lesson you learned from that mistake and turning it into a win. You are worthy of that. And I just hope if any of you are out there struggling right now in a similar space that I was in, that this just blesses you and encourages you that you too will overcome. I'm so grateful. I'm literally like just perched on this mountaintop of gratitude. My feet are just grounded on the soil of God's grace. My heart is so open to all that this life has to offer. I just want to love on people. I just want to help people win. I just want to help myself win. I just want to help pick and carry people and lift them up. I want to continue to have the strength to lift myself up, and when I feel weak, to go to God. And I'm so grateful. And y'all, don't ever think that your deposits, that the day won't come when you'll be able to cash that check. But keep making those positive deposits. Keep showing up. Keep going. You're going to win. God is so faithful, and you are so worthy. I love y'all. This video is 20 minutes. Maybe I'll just upload it to YouTube. I don't know. I'm so grateful. So grateful. Have a great night.